Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Megan.
I'm Joel.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Tracy. I'm Aunt Becky.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We just got done with a very, very busy weekend here on the farm, and things are looking a little empty. At the moment, Dad is at the wholesaler, but we need to get started harvesting veggies today. So Matthew and I are on our way out to the garden. We need to cut some lettuce.
How many do you think we need?
Gorgeous.
I'll just stay at it when we're ready to go.
Beautiful.
All right, let us go get these cleaned up.
All we needed was a couple heads of red and green leaf lettuce, which we got cut. Now, before we can take it down into the farm market, we're gonna wash it off.
Hey, when you see Dad, make sure you mention to him about how it looks, you notice that there's not a lot of weeds in any of the tomatoes or peppers, because I mentioned it to him yesterday and he said no one has said anything to him about it, and he seemed real happy about it.
Let Dad know down in the comments how well he's doing at weed control this year. We're proud of him. That's good stuff.
At least this stuff isn't heavy, you can carry it like this.
After we harvest the lettuce from out in the field and then we rinse it off, we bring it into the cooler. We want to make sure we get the lettuce dipped in cold water as soon as possible and into the cooler. It helps to crisp up the lettuce because we just brought it from out in the sunshine. The lettuce is normally warm and droopy, but now because it was in the water and in the cooler, it'll be nice and crisp. And that helps out a lot when it comes to storing vegetables. If we can get this stuff cooled down, it lasts much longer. And what I'm about to mention next, you'll hear all throughout the season. If you ever buy produce at our farm market or any farm market and bring it home, you should always wash it. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you. No matter where you get your fruits and vegetables from, you should always wash them before you eat them. And I know what you're saying, Andrew, we see you eating stuff out in the field all the time. Don't use me as an example. I've been doing this since I was 2 years old. My body is used to it. And I know what goes into raising all of our fruits and vegetables. While Matthew and I were getting that lettuce harvest, Daniel was down here feeding animals. He got the cattle and calves taken care of, and he just got the chickens fed and eggs collected. So that means we were just about finished down here with the animals, and Dad should almost be home from the wholesaler, so should probably head up into the farm market. After we got done taking care of everything that came from the wholesaler, Daniel and Dad got hooked up to the mower. Daniel is mowing a field and then he's gonna be planting some soybeans. Dad asked me to head out and pick up some fuel, which I just got back from doing, and now I'm bringing a battery and some cables back because we need to jump start our pump. Now I just gotta find Dad. He said, I'm out in the fields, but I don't know where that is, so. Well, I not only found Dad, but I also found Matthew. They've been out here harvesting. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 baskets of pickling cucumbers already harvested. They've been working on 2 rows of pickling cucumbers, but there is a third that I'm gonna start harvesting now. if you can tell, it is a little on the windier side today. We are expecting some rain this afternoon, which we're happy about. It's been relatively dry here, and it was starting to hurt the crops quite a bit. We've been irrigating basically every day, trying to make sure we get enough water on them. You can probably tell from how much we're getting in these rows that the water is helping out. But rain is better. Saves us money, so we're hoping we get a nice rain this afternoon. Whew. Now something that's really interesting is when it starts to get dry like this, we actually start to see a little bit more crop damage when it comes to vegetables. For example, we have this cucumber, has a little bit of crop damage. Something was eating it. A lot of these vegetables are full of moisture. I don't know how much of a percentage of water a cucumber is, but it's up there. And animals, when it's dry, are doing their best to find water, and cucumbers are a way that they can find water. So you will start to see crop damage in certain vegetables as it gets hotter. Tomatoes, similar problem. So we're not seeing like too much of it, but we are seeing it, which is to be expected when it's been this dry.
Is there something else I can help with?
No, Siri, we're good.
I don't know what you mean by, hey Siri, we're good.
Well,
how about a web search for it?
No, that's okay. Can you help me pick cucumbers? Nobody ever wants to help pick cucumbers. Ain't that a fat, funky looking cucumber? Oh, that one, a little too small. The wind is really starting to blow here, and they just bumped us up to a 90% chance of rain at noon. So we're trying to get these cucumbers harvested fast. We just finished off our pickling cucumbers. Now we're moving on to just our regular cucumbers. Now that we've been harvesting quite a few pickling cucumbers, people have really been looking for dill, so before we go home, we're going to harvest a little bit. You think that
this is the kind of bouquet I give Mimi. Gets her excited.
Before we had a little hand seeder, and we just did rows in our garden, but this worked out pretty good. We just come through, cut off a bunch of dill, band it out, and take it home and sell it. But we got 12 baskets of pickling cucumbers, and we got 4 baskets of our regular straight 8 cucumbers. Looks pretty good sitting on the truck, doesn't it? However, we are not done. We got one more thing to harvest before we go home, and unfortunately, it's peas. But it's a little different now. Everything over here was our first planting of peas, and that planting is completely picked off. However, now we have our second planting of peas that needs to be harvested. So we're getting started. So if I'm gonna be completely honest about peas this year, it has not been near as bad as it has been previous years. It seemed that every time we've harvested peas, except for the exception of maybe 1 or 2 days, it hasn't been extremely hot. It's been nice and cool, which makes working out in the fields much easier on you. Believe it, it's much easier on the body, and it's just much easier on you mentally. So it's nice while we're in cool weather like this, the wind is blowing. This job's not too bad. Not my favorite job, but not the worst job. Did I just say that about peas? Not the worst job? That's kind of crazy. Matthew used to have a book about salt. And he'd share salt facts with us all the time out in the field. Now he has a book about tomatoes. And now he's sharing tomato facts.
Did you know that almost all the San Marzano tomatoes in the world today aren't actually San Marzano tomatoes, but they are like San Marzanos crossed with other stuff, because true San Marzano tomatoes are like, there's only a small amount of them and they're in Italy. The more you know.
I'm a smarter farmer now. Look at these tomatoes. I don't know if you remember the last time you saw them, but the tomatoes are like covering the entire row. That's a good sight right there. And we wanted to go home, but Dad told us to stay up here and wait. We're actually turning on the irrigation, even though it's gonna rain. Dad doesn't think it's gonna rain enough, so we're probably gonna get wet.
I think the belief is that if he doesn't turn on the irrigation, it won't actually rain. And so if we do turn it on, it will actually rain.
Now that we are finished with that, we're on our way home. The rain is starting to come down, so hopefully we can get all this stuff unloaded before we get too wet. One of the customers just walked up and said, "Are those yours?" He got all excited. Now what we're gonna have to do is go through and size them all out. I mentioned that last time. So all the cucumbers this size will be together, smaller ones, larger ones, and then we'll be able to sell them, whether someone wants bigger ones or smaller ones. It all depends on what the people want. Alrighty everyone, it is now lunchtime. It looks like we're having tuna fish and egg salad sandwiches. We just got finished with lunch and the rain is here. I'm not sure how long it's gonna rain for, but it is starting to come down pretty good. So in the meantime, we're gonna work on getting the pens bedded up for the cattle. They've been staying in the pens because it's been extremely hot. We wish they would go down and relax in the trees, but they stay up here. So we've got to get all the pens bedded up so they're not sloppy. Oh my, if we weren't having a stable enough day, you would not believe who just showed up.
I'm having an unstable day.
Oh my.
It's raining enough to make you wet, but not raining enough to even put the dust down.
What are you guys doing in the rain when you could be back there relaxing, staying out of the rain? Oh my. Well everyone, I thought the rain was gonna keep us away from harvesting vegetables this afternoon, but Dad informed me that we need 2 baskets of peas for someone. He wouldn't tell me who. I think because it would be a problem. Oh my, what an experience. Driving on the old peas. This is the way to live. Is that true? Oh, I hear a train. Now I think this second planting of peas is a great example of why we plant so often here on the farm. These peas were ready to harvest just 2 days after we finished picking off the last planting. So we do that with a lot of stuff, with sweet corn, peas, beans. We always have extra plantings lined up and ready to start harvesting. And this is a great example. We're done with the first planting, on to the second one, no issues, and lots of nice stuff to harvest. We got our 2 baskets of shell peas that were ordered. It didn't take too long and it finally stopped raining, so that's pretty exciting. Now we're gonna take these peas home. Well, I know one thing's for sure. That definitely was not enough rain. I guess you finish one job and you're on to another. We got back to the farm market and all the pickling cucumbers that we got, Becky has been calling our customers and letting them know that we have cucumbers if they want. So when they get cucumbers, they normally get dill. And now we're out of dill. Gorgeous. I kind of wish we were raising dill this way for years. This is much easier. Usually we have to go through and snip it individually, but when we have everything bunched up already, it was a lot quicker. Want to see how you guys get yourself in trouble while you're harvesting dill? Sliced it with the knife. I can't believe I did that. Thank you. That's a pretty clean cut, if I do say so myself. Easy. All fixed. Hopefully this should get us through for a little bit. Down here working? You having fun? Dad and I have made our way back out to the field. We had a little bit of a problem when we laid this mulch. I don't know if it was a problem with the mulch layer or the weather or what the case was, but our mulch has blown up in a few different spots. So we came out here to fix some of it. We're actually going to be planting our next batch of cucumbers, pickling cucumbers and zucchini in this 5-row section, so we need to get it fixed as quickly as possible. So we're going to try working on it today. This job we're working on right now is a very important one. Getting all of this mulch back down into place does a few different things for us. One, it really helps out with weed control. Weeds become a big problem when this mulch isn't in place. Two, it helps when we plant our seeds into the soil. These two sections that we're working on, these are going to be seeded with our water wheel transplanter, but we're not putting plants. We're just putting seeds into the soil. So the mulch makes sure that the seeds have a warm enough bed to germinate in, which is something we look forward to. And lastly, and one of the most important things, it helps to prevent our drip line from blowing all over the place. So once we get all of this fixed and back into place, we'll be happy. I like to say I wish it went a little more smoothly. I'm tired of shoveling, and I think this shovel is tired of shoveling. Now while Dad and I were shoveling the soil onto the rows of mulch, Daniel and Matthew were out working up ground and planting beans. And well, I am late to closing up because they're getting everything put away.
We got halfway. Yeah, is it going to be on the stable life or not? I want to know.
Well, some of it. Yes. Yeah, it'll be on.
The part where you almost got mugged?
No, that won't be on.
What?
That won't be on. I didn't have the camera when I almost got mugged.
Well, this
Sometimes Lefty gets lost. We have to direct them.
we are heading up into the house. Grammy has already got dinner on the table. Grammy, do you want to tell them what we're having to eat tonight?
We're having stuffed peppers.
Stuffed peppers. So we got
fresh red beets.
ooh, fresh red beets.
Lima beans?
We're not eating lima beans, not me.
Yeah, we're eating lima beans.
No thanks. Those are the worst vegetable in the existence of humankind. And mashed potatoes. So we've got stuffed peppers, red beets, and mashed potatoes, and lima beans, but I'm not eating those. Hello? What are you doing? Are you eating dinner? Mmm, yummy. What a deal. What a deal. Mmm, so delicious. Mmm, so delicious. Thank you for sharing. I would wait till everyone got up here, but Daniel just called us. He needs a few more beans to finish out the field he's in, so we're not gonna all be eating together tonight. So that means this is where we're gonna be ending the video. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.